Welcome back to MannCave Unfiltered, where truth, faith, and real conversation meet. I'm your host, Mannis, and today we're tackling a command straight from the word of Jesus. Let's be a light to the world. So let's be real for a second. Our culture is darker than it's ever been. Confusion, corruption, division, and brokenness. You name it, we're right in the middle of all this. But though we live in, some would say, some of the darkest times, spiritually, as a church, Jesus didn't call us to hide, to go find a corner, to suppress ourselves. He didn't call us to blend in, to be like one of the others. He definitely didn't tell us to stay quiet. He called us to shine. So today we're going to break down what it all means to be the light to the world that sometimes we desperately need to be. So to start off here, we're going to just read a little bit of scripture here. It's going to be Matthew chapter 5. Verses 14 through 16. Ye are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hid. Neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel, but on a candlestick, and giveth light to all that are in the house. Let your light so shine before men, that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. Notice Jesus didn't say try and be the light. He said you are the light. If you're a follower of Jesus Christ, shining should not be optional for you. It has to be who you are. It doesn't have to be because you're sitting there showing off, you're being loud and proud about it. A lot of times, for me, the most vocal members of my church aren't the ones who are going above and beyond, who are being very loud in what they do. It's the ones that day to day, no matter what's going to happen, are going to be here. They're going to be steady. They're going to be right where they're supposed to be. Some days there's more. They never drop below. They're always at the standard. And I feel like that's what we have to be more and more in today's society. Let's be the standard. The standard is set before us by Jesus Christ in his teachings, and the Bible as a reference. We have the old law, the new law, whatever you want to call it. Without Jesus Christ, there's nothing for us. We wouldn't be where we need to be if it wasn't for him. But the light really does two things. It exposes what's hidden in darkness. First, you gotta look at yourself. What's being hidden in that darkness? Step fully into the light. Look at yourself in the mirror and go, I need to fix this. Because you can't be an example to others. Be that light if you are hiding yourself. You need to be aware of what's wrong. Look in your heart. Examine yourself. I try to do that more and more every day. Try to go, okay, how can I get better at this? For me, it takes self-examination first. How can I help somebody if I'm dealing with my own demons, with my own issues? And more and more and more, I find out that I am so weak. I need to really just take a moment to ask God to help me first. Because if I'm going to do what he's called me to do, I'm going to go do what he says is for me to do, I need to be right with myself and right before the Lord. Then I can go do my job. do my work. Go help reap what's been sowed. Maybe I'm going and sowing some seeds that someone else can reap down the road. But like I said, it's two things. Secondly, it helps guide people towards safety and the truth. For a long time, I was way out there. I was lost at sea, lost in the world, just not knowing up from down, left from right, making decisions that I thought were good, but just led me further and further away from what was intended in my life. And there was light. I finally saw a glimpse. I saw my north. What was my north? I found it. And then the adversary came through and tried to prevent me from being able to pursue that north. Try to keep me from doing what I've been called to do. And it was a struggle. By the grace of God and some hard work from some people I would not have imagined to help me, I'm able to sit here today and say for the first time in a very long time that I feel like I'm going in the right direction. I'm finally doing what I'm supposed to do. And at the end of the day, if it wasn't for the light of those that were there, I don't know where I'd be. Because of their light, they were doing what all of us Christians have been called to do. To live in such a way that people can't help but notice there's a difference from us to everyone else they're around. It might be because you speak differently, you don't curse. Or, you are constantly in prayer, or in conversations you just bring up, Lord willing, or thank the Lord. You're always little things here and there. You're just sprinkling those seeds, sowing those seeds. And they will catch on. And some people will commend you, will appreciate what you're doing. And there's those that won't. They will fight you on it. And it's something that you just have to know how to process, how to grow from. But when they ask you and they notice your difference, we have to give our grace to the Lord, to Jesus Christ, to our Father above. So if it wasn't for him, I don't know where I'd be. You can start those conversations. Maybe we can help point them on their path to salvation. But it doesn't start unless you are being the light that you are called to be. And in Psalms chapter 119, verse 105, it says, "Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path." Our culture is stumbling around mostly in darkness, trying to define truth based off feelings and trends and politics. But truth isn't relative. Truth was a person. And that person was Jesus Christ, who is quoted in John chapter 8, verse 12, saying, "I am the light of the world. He that followeth me shall not walk in darkness, but shall have light of life." That right there is beautiful, that verse. He is the light. He is that light in the darkness. We're all out here trying to find our way. And you may feel millions of miles away, lost in it. But there's that little glint of light there, way out there. You start walking towards it. Little by little, you're finding this, you're finding that, you're picking up momentum, you're growing, you're going. There will be a stumbling block. There will be something in life. The adversary will try to cut you down. You get back up, dust yourself off, and you find that light again. And you keep going. pushing. Because he wants us all to make heaven our home. That takes sacrifice. That takes sacrificing yourself daily. But that's for discussion for another day. Because if we want to truly shine, we can't water down the truth. We have to speak it, live it, and defend it, even when other people are uncomfortable. Because light isn't meant to make the darkness feel better. It's not meant to make you feel all warm and, comfortable living in your sin in this life. It's meant to make things uncomfortable. Has anyone ever told you something that made you just feel bad because you know it's true? I have. Plenty of times. And plenty of times I sat there and I'd be mad, but I couldn't blame them because they weren't wrong. It's always so hurt because they're not wrong. So you're stuck. Because that light that is shown is supposed to break the darkness. Be that eternal light that Jesus Christ has. You got to follow it. Got to strive after it. But there is a cost with being those lights. And some people already know what it is. But here's an example in John chapter 3, verse 19. It says, men love darkness rather than light because their deeds were evil. When you shine, expect pushback. Expect the world to call you judgmental, outdated, or even dangerous. You have to expect it. They'll try to find ways to discredit you, to say what you're doing is wrong, to say that you are archaic, doesn't make sense in the modern world. But then in Philippians chapter 2, verse 15, it reminds us that we're called to shine as lights in the world in the midst of a crooked and perverse nation. So really, if we're living right and we're living correctly before God, we shouldn't be shocked when the world pushes back against us, when it resists to the truth. Instead, we need to see it as a confirmation that your light's actually shining, that you're doing what you're supposed to do, that you're being that light in those dark places for those people to see. And the more we look at it, you can just sit here and go, okay, so how are we supposed to shine? How do we do this? How do we be those examples that we're supposed to be? How are we to be what we're called to be? Well, start at home. Pray with your family. If you have children, lead them in truth. Let them know right from wrong. And especially, let them see you live the faith daily. You pray on your own, your study. Even in your frustration, you take a moment to pray. I know I've failed at that so many times. But more and more I find that if I need to take a second and pray, ultimately things will work out. It may not be the answer I want, but it will work out. If you're doing that at home, it leads into your work or your school life. Don't refuse to compromise on your values. If someone challenges you and tells you that's wrong, just defend it. You don't gotta go to battle for it, but don't just bend a knee. Someone makes fun of you for praying, you just say, I know if it wasn't for my Lord, I wouldn't have this meal today. It wasn't for him allowing me to have this job or allow my parents to be able to afford what they have for me. Be willing to speak with honesty. And do your work with integrity, whether it's schoolwork or a job. Take pride in your work. Because if you take pride in it, you'll strive to be the best that you can be. And just in culture in general in the world, be bold. Whether that's online, in person. Don't just post what's popular out there. Don't retweet the most popular things. Don't share the most popular things. Post what's true. If you feel that you need to post a verse, post a verse. Need to share a song, share a song. That's what we need to do. We do it for everybody, not just for one or two. We shouldn't shy away whenever the Lord puts that thought in our mind that I should share this. Share it. We don't know who it'll affect. We don't know the overall outcome will be. But that one post could help someone who was discouraged that day find some encouragement and maybe pick up the word for just a verse or two, a chapter. We can do that. If we do that correctly, the world will start to become a better place for all of us. And then in our churches, we should encourage those around us, support those who need supported, be servants to my fellow brethren, be willing, ready to serve those that need to serve, to help, fulfill your role. Be disciples to those that need that assistance. And shine brightest where the world is watching. Being lights doesn't mean it's always going to be standing on a stage. It's not mean it's going to always be in a public forum. Doesn't mean you're going to be surrounded by everyone that fully agrees with you. It could be as simple as showing kindness to somebody that needs a hand up. If you feel like, hey, I'm going to give this dude a sandwich, give him a sandwich. You see someone needing a hand with some groceries, help them with their groceries. Just being nice. It could be, you're speaking truth. Someone comes to you for advice and the Lord puts you something in your mind to say. Be tactful with it, but say what needs to be said. Don't hide the truth. Now, don't put your opinion in there. Don't hide the truth. Because if we start hiding the truth, then we'll start be going along with sin, and then it's a big snowball effect. Don't go along with sin. Refuse to allow sin to rule over your life. Don't let it take that hold on you. Let's not forget, America itself was once called to be a city on a hill. Our founding fathers used that very imagery, believing that this nation was meant to shine as an example of freedom rooted in faith. But here's a very hard truth. If we lose the light of Christ in our homes, our churches, and our nation, America will be nothing more than a dark empire that unfortunately crumbled. We see it today. I think we are as divided as ever. And the fact that truth has been replaced with feelings is a problem. And I hope that we have the ability to correct our wrongs before it's too late. Because if we lose our way entirely, we will never truly find our way back. But to prevent that, it's time for us to take back the vision. Not by just politics alone. We need to live as true disciples who shine wherever God places us in life. Remember that light spreads when it's shared. Parents, disciple your children. As leaders, we need to mentor the next generation. Every Christian has a responsibility to multiply the light that God has given. There's a parable that was told that these men were given different amounts of talents, and one of them buried it. Buried the one talent he was given because he was afraid of losing that talent. And whenever this man returned to reap, the man returned his one talent. He was afraid. He was sent away with nothing. Didn't have access to anything. Be like the man that had 3 talents and 2 talents. Multiply those talents. Make use of your talents. Share it. Because here's the thing. Here's the truth. Darkness doesn't win when the light shines. One small candle can push back an entire room of darkness. I've had the opportunity to go into some very dark places, such as very deep caves underground. And a lot of these times they will shut off all the lights. And you're sitting there. Can't see a thing. You're hearing the water drip around you. But then they will have someone turn on one light way off. And the amount of light, that comes out, that one little source is so great that before long you can see the whole room. You can see everything around you from one light. Now imagine 1,000 of those lights. We see it every day. Our world's lit up by lights, physically anyway. Let's not forget that. Let's be those lights in those rooms of darkness so we can help people find their way. Now, as a growing trend here, I usually end with a challenge. And no change today. But I want to start with this, today, tomorrow, whenever you have an opportunity. Go ahead and ask yourself, where am I hiding my light? Where do you go in your day-to-day life that you're hiding your light? That when you walk through this threshold, okay, I got to turn it off. Got to put it under that bushel. Where do you do that? Is it work? Around certain friends? Is it when you enter your own home? If it is, let's try to do one bold thing. Help shine brighter. That could be praying for someone, sharing your testimony online, sharing it with a friend, posting a verse online, refusing to stay silent when the truth needs to be told. Let's try something this week. And remember, you are the light of the world. So don't hide it. Let's share it. Thank you for joining me today on MannCave Unfiltered. If you enjoyed this episode and it spoke to you, and share it with someone who needs encouragement to shine in this unfortunately dark world that we live in nowadays. Because if they start to shine, you shine, and I shine, we can help push back the darkness with the light of Christ. If you guys haven't already, click that subscribe button. Should be down below. Click that bell as well to be notified whenever new episodes go live. Follow me over on a whole bunch of different social media. Just be at It's MannCave or at MannCave, whichever it is. You'll recognize whether it's me or not. Guys, join the community over at discord.mancavemedia.com. That's discord.mancavemedia.com. Also, check us out. We have the newsletter. It goes out every Friday at noon Central Time. It'll be newsletter.mancavemedia.com. That's newsletter.mancavemedia.com. We do have a possible store coming out. I've been working on some cool little things, working in some pocket shirts, some little stuff like this. So be on the lookout for that. And I hope you guys all have a wonderful day. And until next time, stay bold, stay faithful, and never back down from the truth.